Hello, welcome to MCFC9320 TV. Hello, everybody. How are we?
Hello.
Evening, Andy.
Good evening. I'm fine.
Anne-Marie, John, Clinton, Paul, and we've got Stanislav from sunny Bulgaria. Hello, Stan. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you. It wasn't so sunny today, but it's almost autumn.
Is it? Well, I'm pretty certain it'll still be a little bit warmer than here, around Sunny Beach and stuff.
I haven't been to Sunny Beach for years, but here in Sofia, it's about 16, 17 degrees.
I'm staying
warmer here then.
I'm staying here then. Right, guys.
Hey, Stan, I came all the way to Bulgaria for 6 weeks and I couldn't find you. It's a big place, isn't it?
Yeah, you should have called me.
I know. I should have done, to be honest. We could have got down to Sunny Beach. You could have had an holiday with me for a week or something.
That's not recommended, Stan. I've spent an away day or two with Riz, and well, on a side note, speaking of away days in that, Riz, my daughter she's been to Blackpool today, and she brought me back some Jaeger bomb rock.
My goodness.
Jaeger bomb.
Now we're talking. That's got to come on an away trip, that.
Right. It's been a mad week, hasn't it, really, in the I was going to say in the Blue Planet then, but we was just talking about something else earlier. But yeah, it's been an absolutely crazy week. Marie, what do you make of Pep's comments and the way they've been twisted?
I think Pep, in some ways, should stay quiet about it, about the support that he gets, because I think, in fairness, he gets the club itself gets amazing support, and he should know by now that no matter what he says, it's going to get misconstrued and it's going to be twisted by the media. It's given the likes of TalkSport all the ammunition they need to throw at us this week, and he didn't need to do it. I think it's unfair on our normal match day fans to complain or to say that you should be coming to all the games or things like that.
I'm a little bit on the fence. I think he's entitled to his opinion. And as we know, he's reacted to comments from friend of the show, Kev Parker. I think I've defended Kev this week because I think he's entitled to his opinion. Riz? Is he entitled to his opinion, or because he's representing the fans?
Of course he is. Absolutely, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, I think what's gone on here is it's a perfect storm again. We keep using these words, but I think what's happened is he's obviously, English isn't his native language, so he's gone on the internet.
Kev Parker's.
Kev Parker. Oh yeah, no, he's Cheshire, isn't he?
Yeah,
can't understand a word he says, to be honest. When he's sober, that is. Only joking, Kev. I know you listen. I mean, what's happened is he's come off the game. He's buzzing from the game, so he's full of adrenaline. He's excited. He's a bit giddy, like we all were. He's not even been asked the question. He just kind of brought it into the conversation, and it's been misconstrued what he said. His native language is Portuguese. I know what he's trying to say, and he said it wrong.
Portuguese.
He's come across
Portuguese.
Yeah, he's Portuguese, isn't he?
No, he's Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
Oh no, yeah. Well, whatever.
He's Catalan, even.
Right.
Yeah, Catalonian.
Right. Hang on. Whoa. Riz.
Yeah.
You know Jose Mourinho isn't our manager or Pochettino, don't you? Because he's
Pochettino's Argentinian, mate.
Gosh, I'm trying to trip him up here.
You don't trip me up, mate. You've got to get up earlier in the day to trip me up. I know. Yeah, but how do you know that Pep doesn't speak fluent Portuguese?
Portuguese.
Don't do you? You don't do you, see? You're trying to trip me up, and I know for a fact he's fluent. So he can speak Spanish and Portuguese. And I carry on.
Obrigado.
Carry on, Riz.
Anyway, right, so there we go. As I was saying before, rudely interrupted, he's just been misunderstood what he said. People have jumped on it, and then off they go. The press.
A bit like Andy, were you expecting to go in it? Yeah.
Exactly, that's it. He just
Yeah.
Let me finish. Let me finish. So, and then I don't know what Kev Parker was doing. To be honest, Kev's an intelligent fellow, and I like the bloke. And he I know he's been trying to get involved, and he was trying to say things, but they've edited him out. They've edited the conversation and pieced it together and made him look like he was having a go at Pep and all the rest of it. So it's all just they should have both kept their mouths shut. They didn't need to say anything. They should have just kept quiet and got on, and nothing would have happened if they'd have kept quiet.
So,
really, for both of them.
I agree, but if Pep would have kept his mouth shut, it wouldn't, we wouldn't even be discussing it now, especially like because Kev's reacted to it. If Pep wouldn't have said anything, it's, we're talking about other Portuguese managers and stuff, aren't we, John?
Exactly. Pochettino, for instance.
He's Argentinian, yeah.
He's the same, what's he called, the Burnley manager, Sean Dyche. He's
just croaky.
Well.
He's just croaky.
Yeah, I just can't understand what he's saying. But he goes like that, you have a clue what he's saying.
John. Come on, what's your thoughts on what's gone on this week? Yeah, opinion?
When I first heard what Pep had said, I wasn't happy about it. I'd not even heard what Kev Parker had said. I just heard that through other people. But as time's gone on, I've thought about it, and yeah, he was entitled to his opinion, but basically he should have kept his mouth shut because he's just fueled the fire for everybody else. He knows how much stick we get off the media and off other fans, and then he goes and says that.
So why does it matter? We get the stick anyway, regardless whether Pep said anything, whether Kev Parker said anything.
But it's just another thing to throw at us, another bit of evidence, as they put it.
Right, we talk. Look, what about it? Evidence? Well, I'll give you some evidence. Since 2000,
and he's done his own work. I knew there was a reason for his cockiness.
Since 2015, we've had a minimum of 50,000 supporters in there every Premier League game.
Yeah. So they won't listen to that.
But it doesn't matter. Facts are facts.
That's why on Twitter,
people are even questioning that.
I've muted everything, so I can't see it. So if I don't see it, I'm oblivious, and I just lead a happy life now.
That's blinkered. Stan, what's your thoughts on the madness of the week?
Well, first of all, I think that that Pep shouldn't say what he said, because it was inappropriate in regards to our fan base relation with the club. But I think, at least personally, that he wanted to say something else, but he didn't express itself very good. I think that he wanted to say that he expects more from the fans in Champions League games, not in general, because I think that the City fans are taking it not that seriously, and probably he wanted to encourage the fans to be more passionate in the Champions League games, not in the Premier League. But this is what I think, at least. But anyway, it wasn't very appropriate. And then the afterwards with Kevin, and I think it was created unnecessary tension between him and the fans. So
you see, Anne-Marie, my opinion about Champions League, couldn't give a shiny one, in all honesty. I won't give you away for a penny of mine. So regardless whether there's one person in the stadium for a Champions League night or a million, it doesn't alter my perspective on it, because I'm not bothered. Bread and butter's Premier League.
And I'm with you 100%, Andy. That's my main priority, is the Premier League. I think the one thing that I would say is, I respect Kevin Parker and everything that he does, but I think he has to be careful as being the vocal point of the supporters, because the reality is not, there's a fraction of our supporters are in a supporters club. So he doesn't actually represent everyone's opinion. So to come out with stuff like saying that Pep should stick to coaching, it's...
But like Riz,
it's childish, in my opinion.
No, but like Riz said, when in fairness to Kev, if it's been interviewed and stuff's been edited out, that's where the cauldron came in Pep's match conference, where he actually named Kev for comments what he'd made, but what? Why? I've not got an objection with him saying what he's got to. Now, was it cut out where he said, "In my opinion," not "I'm speaking for the supporters"? I didn't actually hear him say "I'm speaking for the supporters." So we know there's an agenda against it, especially Champions League. So I think if you analyse it and look at it, I think someone's done one on him there, in all fairness.
Well, if that's the case, then Kev's an intelligent fella. He's been sucked into the media trap, hasn't he? Because he's quite kind of well known, if you like. He's the kind of go-to person. I mean, I've seen him on Sky quite a few times when they've interviewed him with stuff. So because he's the secretary of the supporters club, that what he was saying was his personal opinion. Now, as you say, if they've edited out what he said and it's all down to the edit, you can say 5 really good things and say one bad one, and they'll edit it out. The bad ones will come across. That's the soundbite. That's what they want. And Kev, to be fair to Kev, he's just been naive, really, and I don't know whether COVID's part of it and you're just kind of getting back at. I don't know. I was surprised at what Kev did. I thought because he's an intelligent fella, I didn't think he'd get involved in that, and he has done. And I sort of feel for the guy in a way, because he's been singled out by a lot of people and he's coming for a lot of stick. He's entitled to his opinion, but I think when it comes that, because he's the representative of Man City supporters, I'm a chairman of a supporter club, so is John, and his views don't represent my views, so it doesn't even represent all the views of the chairman and all the supporters club. So both need to learn a lesson from it and just stay out of it. Let the press get on with it. They've got an agenda, and they're just trying to stir up problems because they can't get us about anything else. They're just trying to stir up, and we know John's done the right thing there. You block all these words, and you don't get involved in it. I've had all weekend. I've been blocking and getting rid of people's comments and stuff, because it's detracting from what a fantastic job everyone at City's doing, from the ground staff right through to the supporters. It's this last sort of like 12 years we've had are kind of trying to be airbrushed off history, and all they're doing is having a go at us every season. It's one thing or another, and this is just this season now. They're at the start of the season. They've got something else to eat, another stick to beat us with.
John, I just think Kev deserves a little bit of support from people, because it was his opinion. However, there'll be a lot of people that actually agree with him, and they're jumping on the back of the media, he should keep his mouth shut. But actually, they agree with him. I've not got an issue with him having an opinion.
I've not got a problem with having it. Everybody's got, their own opinion. But it's like a lot of people have said about, the ticketing side of it, because of supporter services and the big, massive farce with all the ticketing. People have been trying to get through to buy tickets and couldn't. If that side of it was sorted out, then maybe we'd have a full stadium for Champions League.
I would be there.
Thing is, though, when they give you a day beforehand for the Cups game, so basically, so you can transfer your ticket a day before, then that's not good enough. These people who need, like, especially a midweek game, they need time to organise things. And giving us the day before to transfer your ticket to somebody who can go because you're working or something like that, then that's just not good. It's bound to be a low attendance.
I agree. Stan, do you reckon all the empty yard, empty seats, it's media driven, isn't it? Do you feel that in Bulgaria?
Oh yeah, big time. Many supporters of other clubs are using it as a banter all the time, and I'm just tired and sick of this nonsense. But I just ignore them already because it's pointless to argue with them. And
don't you think they're a bit chicky fricky?
Well,
they what?
Of course, but when they do it all the time, I'm just sick of it.
Stan, enlighten what I've just said. Chicky fricky.
Yeah.
Well, Bulgarian.
That's Bulgarian, Stan, isn't it?
No, it ain't.
I don't know.
I'm fluent in Bulgarian.
No,
it's Chinese. What you just said.
It's not that. That's a little bit. That's a little bit.
Sure, for chicken fried rice. What you've just said. That's not Bulgarian, Andy.
I don't know it at least, but anyway, I just wanted to say that some of the fans here, the supporters of other clubs who know the real story and history of Man City, they know what it's all about, but most of the supporters use it as a banter the whole time, and I just
they've nothing else to beat us with, have they?
So Stan, let me run a scenario here now. So in Bulgaria, and it won't just be Bulgaria, by the way, but I can only go off the scenario you've just presented to us. You've got fans of other clubs in Bulgaria taking the mickey out of you because we can't fill our stadium, but those fans taking the mickey out of you, but don't go to the games anyway. So they've not really got a right to criticise you, have they?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah, some of them are just seeing and posting pictures and things like this, but it's childish. I mean, you can make one or two jokes, but all the time it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know.
It's embarrassing, really, isn't it? To be honest, it's quite embarrassing, and I get wound up with myself for getting annoyed about it. But what's annoying me is we're watching some of the best the best football I've ever seen live every week in, week out, and I'm sick to death of not being able to sort of like be proud of that. And it seems like every time we do something, the media has a go in. And I know it's easy to say, just ignore them and all that. It's easier said than done, innit? When you're passionate about something.
In that banter, though, in that football banter, I don't mind.
No.
I was at a friend's birthday party last night, and there was a load of rags there, and a couple of Liverpool fans, and they was giving me pelters. I was just giving them back. They're going about, you can't, you can't fill your stadium. I just pulled my season ticket. I went, have you got one of them? Have you got one of them for your club? No.
Hey, whoa, hang on.
Oh, hang on. Have you got a season ticket?
Have you got one of them?
Sorry, I've got a...
Oh, here we go now.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? I just produced the goods.
Right, okay. Okay. I'll lay off then.
That's what I meant. So, yeah, it's just... Are we not getting a little bit precious where they're slaughtering us for empty ad and all that? Are we not getting a little bit mad because we don't want banter with them? Anne-Marie, are you bothered what they say?
No, I'm not bothered by what they say at all, because I don't think, like I said before, I don't think at any point can you fault our fans. When you look at what we've been through and how we've stuck by the club, good and bad, and because of circumstances beyond all our control over the last 12, 18 months, not everyone's in a position to go to a game, that kind of thing. So I've got no issue with people saying what they say, because at the end of the day, for me, it's just jealousy. They wish their team played like us. But I think it'll be interesting to see what the papers say after Tuesday night against Wycombe, because there's no, obviously the third tiers are closed in the, the 3 stands. So there's no way there's going to be a full house on Tuesday. So no doubt there'll be a lot of comments about that as well.
Now, if United had been playing Wycombe at home at the Theatre of Scaffolding, it'd have been full. Now all like Aer Lingus and Ryanair are fully functional from Ireland.
Yeah, but the difference with that is they've actually incorporated cup games into their season ticket. So they've paid for them anyway. So they have to go. Simple as. And if they don't go, then their attendance still is calculated because the ticket's been sold.
As I say,
got thousands.
I'm sorry. I just think we're getting a little bit mad if we can't have banter about things like empty seats and no history.
You don't mind. It's just it gets too much at times.
John, you
get it from everywhere.
Right? You know what, right? Yeah, let me put this out there. I'm not bothered about Joe Blogs, Dave from Fazackley or whatever. I'm not interested in what he says. He can have a go. He can say what he wants about empty seats.
L9 that, by the way. L9 that postcode.
L9, exactly. All right, there, La. So I don't care what he says. I couldn't give a monkeys. It's funny. Get on with it. It's banter. The thing that concerns me is when so-called journalists are doing it. Is that, what's he called? Jamie
Redknapp.
O'Meara, is he called?
Who?
No. In that punched a 14-year-old kid when he was playing football or something. Jamie O'Hara. Yeah, him. Now, he put out the other day something about I've made 6 hours before the game at Tottenham and already there's more fans in the ground than they were at the Etihad and stuff like that. He's a professional, so-called professional pundit working for Sky and TalkSport, funnily enough. And for him to come out with stuff like that is wrong. How can he be classed as unbiased when he's coming out with stuff? How can he comment when obviously he's got a little bee in his bonnet and he's obviously been told to come up with, part of the agenda? Why should he? He should keep his mouth shut about stuff like that.
The difference, Paul, these days is, for some strange reason, there is no unbiased anymore.
Correct.
People are allowed to show their bias on TV, on the radio, and it's to attract their fans.
Yeah, well, that's not the job, is it? That isn't the job.
No, it's not. No. But
as a co-commentator, you're there to give snippets.
It's not professional anymore. It's not professional anymore.
Well, it needs to be.
Every man and his dog can just go and get a media qualification and then go and work for him. He could be a massive United fan. He'll show it.
I've got an idea what you could do with TalkSport. Just don't listen to it like I don't.
I don't listen to it.
I don't
listen to it, mate.
That's why I never heard Ked's comment.
I block TalkSport, but sometimes people share it and it comes on my timeline. And I do block. I've blocked him now. I didn't know who he was. I had to Google it, to be honest, to find out who he was. That's how I found out about him punching 14-year-old kids when he played for Billericay. So it's not the fans that bug me because they're pathetic. You just, whatever, get on with it. Have a bit of banter, give them some stick. It's when the so-called professionals are having a go at our empty seats. That's when I get annoyed, and that's when it gets a bit more sinister for me. There's an undercurrent, and it's not right.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that premise because professional football, ex-professional footballers, it's fair to say, they've got a fair few quid, so they should understand, the working class, family, especially on the back of, the past 2 years, they might not be able to afford to go to the match. They might not want to go to the match in case they, because they're jittery about COVID and stuff like that. And like I said back before, since 2015, minimum 50k for a Premier League match at the Etihad. So they're not interested in the facts.
So why are they doing it then?
They're after it's like a popularity contest, isn't it? You know,
clicks and likes.
Who can get the most likes and get the most followers? It's down to that, isn't it?
Well, it's easy. Yep. I don't like any of them, so they've got the same amount of likes from me.
Yeah,
they're all the same. They're all as bad as one another. I just think it's not right, and this is how modern society's gone now, where there aren't many honest journalists out there and TV personalities and all the rest of it. You know, they're all sticking a two-penny thing. They're all getting involved in stuff where really, you know, they should just concentrate on doing the job properly on football rather than getting involved in, you know, what's it got to do with Jamie O'Hara who's watching the Tottenham game? How many fans are at City? What's he got to do with him? He's not even reporting on the game. If he turned around and said, I'm at the game, the stadium's full, but the atmosphere is very subdued and quiet, then that's fair enough. That's a comment. That's a comment on what he's seen. But to be sat over at Tottenham and trying to get a funny little snidey digging, why? What's the point? You're a clown.
Because it gets in popularity.
Right. Let's talk football. The match yesterday.
Okay.
Fortunately, I couldn't make the match yesterday.
Here we go.
Why? Oh, Pep won't be happy about that.
No, I filled my seat though. I don't mean me. I mean I managed to sort my ticket out.
Is that why you had to leave early?
No, honestly, by the way, I've got a great way.
Don't you normally fill too?
Right, listen. Here's a tip for you. You know, like you've got to let City know about transferring your ticket and stuff like that. I've got a great way of bypassing all that. I'll tell you off air in a bit. It worked yesterday. So the match yesterday.
I know about it anyway.
Yeah, I do. You give someone your phone.
No. No.
So the match. Is it a case of now? You know, I'm going to point the fingers a little bit at some City fans here now. To be totally honest, we've not got a divine right to win everything. You know, we're not going to win every match. We're not going to. You know, I thought in certain aspects, a draw was decent for us yesterday, Anne-Marie.
Well, it's an interesting one. I think, you know, the whole game was summed up that our only shot on target in the whole game was in the last minute. You know, I think
it happens.
It does happen. It does. And there wasn't one player covered themselves in glory yesterday. Not one. There was too many sloppy passes.
Fernandinho was shocking.
Fernandinho had an absolute nightmare. Him and Gundogan in the middle was wrong. So wrong. You know, I think we dodged one with the penalty. That was quite amazing that VAR kind of sided with us.
It wasn't VAR. It was actually John Moss. He actually went over there, and I thought, fair play to him, because
I thought he was right.
Because you was at the match and stuff like that. You probably, depending on where you are, you just see it once initially. As soon as it was showing, I thought it was a great tackle by Kyle Walker. But I was expecting, to be honest, I was expecting him getting sent off because of the way the world is.
I'll tell you what, though, it was so funny that he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, the away fans next to me were absolutely loving it. And then when it all went pear-shaped, they were nearly crying.
And that's what I'm on about. That's what I'm on about. And you're quite right. I don't want to back on about things. That's banter is, you know, that's brilliant. I'm not going back to the media rubbish again, but
that's normal banter, though.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Football banter. That's how it should be.
I thought Southampton had plenty of chances yesterday and could have scored a few. But what kind of surprised me was right near the end of the game, they had a free kick more or less on the edge of the box.
And took it in the corner.
And rather than play it in, they just put it into the corner. And I just thought that really surprised me, because it was like in the end they didn't want to score. They wanted to just hang on for a draw.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
For me, all I saw of Southampton, yeah, was some good football, but a lot of cheating, a lot of diving, a lot of doing nasty things. Like when Bernardo was trying to get the ball to do a free kick, and the Southampton player picks it up and he just runs off with it.
Yeah.
You know,
number
things
5.
like that.
Time wasting as well.
Yeah, a lot of time wasting.
If you was playing City,
I'd do the same.
do exactly the same.
What happened to sportsmanship?
We're moaning about something. What we'd do the same. We'll probably get it if we 1-0 up against Chelsea or something. We'll do exactly the same. This is.
I thought Southampton played well yesterday.
I did, mate.
Yeah, they did play well.
I everybody's going about City had a bad day, but perhaps it was the fact that Southampton got in our faces and didn't allow us to have a good day. All you need is a couple of players not on it, a couple of your creative players not on it, with an opposition that presses like they do. It's not hard to disrupt us when that happens, and you've got to take your hat off to them. They came to not get beat, and they did that. And fair play to them. And we can't win every week. We can't win every game.
We never win at home, and we never win away.
I know, and we lost a few weeks ago.
But we should have tried to win yesterday, because I had a feeling that our players didn't just want to try. They just didn't click. In the last 10 minutes, they woke up, and I was just shocked because Kevin and Phil should have started the game for me. We have Wycombe in front of us.
Stanley coming back from injury, you can't. That was Phil Foden's first Premier League appearance of the season.
But he could have started for 60 minutes, for example, and not playing the last 15 or 20 minutes.
I think Pep got that right with De Bruyne and Foden, in my opinion. I think the tone, Stan. I think the tone was set with the poor passing from Fernandinho, but it happens.
Sure. Of course, it happens, but after 55 or 60 minutes, when you see where the game could end, you have to react and not wait until 75th or 18 minutes. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't our day anyway, but we could have won the game, which would be very surprising based on our game. But anyway, at least we saved the point, and we have now, except the Wycombe game, we have very difficult 3 games in front of us, which will be critical, I think.
What apart from Wycombe, Stan, what difficult games have we got?
Chelsea away, PSG away, and Liverpool away.
But haven't PSG, Liverpool, and Chelsea also got a difficult game against us?
Yeah, sure, of course. But I just want to say that these 3 games would be critical on so many levels. So I hope we can manage.
Listen,
the main one we need to beat
Chelsea
is Chelsea.
Yeah, I prefer to play bad against Southampton and save the good games for the Chelsea and Liverpool. I prefer that to happen. If we're going to if we're going to have a bad game, let's have a bad game against Southampton, get a point, and then.
The thing is, though, over the past few seasons, when we played Southampton, it's always been a very tight game.
Yeah.
And I remember Sterling when he celebrated because he scored the winner, and he got sent off for celebrating.
Yes, even this game from '96 with the kinky magnificent goal. Even this game was very hard.
I was sat behind that. Wonderful goal, that.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Imagined.
I think
it's one of them, mate. It's one of them. It's a bad day at the office yesterday. That's what it was. But you know what? Having said all that, I didn't give a monkeys because it was my first game back this season at home, and I absolutely loved it.
And
met up with the lads.
Go on, Riz. Why did you love it? And for me, a football match is the whole package. It's not just that 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. We met up with the lads. I've not seen him for a long time. We had a right good booze before the game. We got in the ground. All the people were there who were normally around me. We'd lost a couple with COVID, with a couple of fans around us had died. But we had the crack with the away fans. We had the banter with the police. It was just, you know what? It's not all about the result on the pitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course I came away disappointed. But you know what? We forgot what football is. Football's an entertainment. And I came away yesterday's game thoroughly entertained, even though we'd not played particularly well. We got a draw. But you know what? I got my money's worth yesterday. I had a right laugh. I loved it.
Brilliant.
Didn't lose.
Absolutely brilliant. And Marie, do you think some City fans are a little bit spoiled? You know, that they think we've got a divine right to win absolutely everything?
Well, I think you might know my opinion on this already, Andy, but for me, I think there are a certain section that are spoiled and expect us to win everything. And it's, unfortunately, it's the newer section of our fan base that are of that opinion.
Riz, are you going to take that from a Riz?
When she went that, I think she meant the younger section. So I'm quite happy with her to say that. Yeah. I'm
because I
involved
think those of us that have been around longer and have seen the real desperate bad days.
You've been around and all, haven't you, Anne-Marie?
Sorry? No, I get exactly what you're saying. And the hatred, as well as them being our rivals, United, that for me, the hatred for United fans that, over the years is because the arrogance where they expect to win. They think they've got a divine right to win every single match. And it's contagious, that, because it has caught to
we are actually turning into them, aren't we? With we are, mate. No,
partially,
when I say we,
not
we,
personally.
I don't mean us here.
Right, that's all right then.
Yeah, no, we. I'm saying as
fans
a club.
in general.
Yeah, where you've got all your journeymen supporters, your plastics, and all them turning up. You've got people watching the game through a video screen in front of them, watching them on it, recording it live on their iPads. We're getting entitled.
Yeah,
we're not the old school.
Even the club are going that way, though, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Changing the name to Man City instead of Manchester City.
Yeah. It's all, we're all going the way of I hate saying it, the big clubs go. In 20, 30 years' time, when we're not on this planet, a younger generation coming through, they'll be Man United.
Do you know something?
They'll be Manchester United because they'll go back then.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be haunting them on the terraces.
You're absolutely right, because that's one thing. We have somebody who sits behind us in the family stand, and it's one of them's only a 14-year-old, but the grief what they give out to the players, if they miscontrol a ball or something like that, it's like
they think they're playing on FIFA though, don't they?
Yeah.
Funny you should say that. Every time I look round, it's like, you're rubbish, you're rubbish.
Yeah, with thumbs like that. Yeah.
But you even see it in the group occasionally. If you do kind of mention our past history, you do kind of get, well, you can't live in the past. You have to look at where we are now. And yes, we do, but we can't forget where we've come from.
Yeah. It makes us what we are.
Of course it does.
It fans what we are. We've said this before when John had his shark suit on and he was getting pelters off the younger section of fans, and it's like, they just don't get it, where having bananas and inflatables and stuff. They don't get, if we didn't do stuff like that back in the day, it kept us sane because we were watching absolute rubbish football. There was no point in going to a match to watch. We weren't watching football. It was nothing like you've seen now. So we kept ourselves entertained by singing songs about ourselves, having a sense of humour, dressing up, turning up with inflatables. That's what the thing we have to do. And we should never forget that, because it keeps us grounded. You know, if you lived in a rough council estate and all of a sudden win 30 million on the lottery, don't you dare turn your nose up at people who live on council estates, because you are one of them. And that's where we're heading. We're heading, you know, these just new generation of fans are sort of like giggling at stuff we do. You know, it's like I'm quite happy to make a fool of myself, as I do on air every week. Doesn't bother me. I'm comfortable in my skin, and that's what makes City fans different. That we're comfortable in what we do and how we support the club, and you know we are what we are, and that's what our identity is. Don't ever try and ruin that, because you lose your identity. You might as well go and call yourself Hardwick United or something, because you're not Man City.
Oh, you're right, Riz, because I actually like being hated by the other fans now. I do. They don't feel sorry for us anymore. I used to wait and feeling sorry for us, but now I buzz off them. But it was interesting what you were saying about, what did you say? John had a costume. What was that costume, John?
I don't know. Put it on your phone. You've been looking for it a minute ago. Oh, no.
Oh.
Hey, you don't get things like this on other podcasts, do you, Riz?
You don't. I think you should wear it next week.
Yeah, John, bring it out.
He probably won't fit him now, to be honest.
The only problem is with that
now. He's gone to Daddy Shark.
Yeah, the only problem with that, who started the Shark team?
Oh, don't go there.
Yeah, and just let's dodge that one, eh?
Yeah, move on.
No, it's listen, we've got Wycombe coming up on Tuesday. Who's going?
I've got a ticket.
I'm going.
But it all depends on. Oh God. Oh. Anyway, I've got a ticket.
I'm going.
It all depends on work. It depends if I can get out of work on time without stressing and rushing around. Then I'll do it. If not, I'm not bothered. To be honest.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Absolutely, that is a great answer. I was just coaxing you into that. Of course it does, because if City was playing Tiddlywinks, I'd want them to win. You know, it's
exactly.
But it's the Carabao. It's our cup.
Yeah, this is our cup. This
is
if
our
we
cup.
win it again this year, will they let us keep it?
Well, apparently the sponsorship's changing, so I think it's the last year for the Carabao Cup. So every year.
I tell you what, I'll be glad about
won the Carabao Cup apart from us. If we win it this year,
I'll be glad about that, because I can't spell it. You know, when you try to say like I give up.
Literally, nobody else has won that cup.
Yeah,
because it's sponsored by Carabao.
And you're right, you know, because an exclusive here for you. Does anybody know who the new sponsor's going to be?
I do.
Rumbelows.
Prestige car repairs.
Oh, Aquagas and Bowen's Pies.
The Bowen's Pie Trophy.
Seriously, Rumbelows.
No, the Rumbelows.
They're done, aren't they?
I was going to say they don't exist anymore.
You're a clown, you. You're a clown, you savage.
It's you know.
I've probably never even heard of Rumbelows.
You're getting more like Robbie Savage every day.
I resemble that accusation.
I bet you did when you had hair.
Stan, did he have Rumbelows shops in Bulgaria still?
No, I never heard of it. What's that?
It's like Janet.
Like electrical shop, weren't it?
Yeah, you know, like Janet supermarkets, them sort of things. It's like that.
Janet?
Yeah, that's what us Bulgarians have. It's like Costco. But we call it Janet.
Okay.
Or Metro. More like Metro, Stanislav.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
When I became a City fan, it was a Coca-Cola Cup, I think, back in the days.
Yeah.
It was a what?
Coca-Cola Cup.
I'm glad you said Coca-Cola then, mate.
It
So
It was League Cup when I was born, I think.
predictions for
Don't call it a League Cup.
predictions for the Wycombe game, boys and girls.
Oh, God, it could be anything.
4-0.
I've got a feeling
That's a nice
Keiki.
gonna be.
Keiki will play that game.
Is what?
Keiki, I reckon Keiki will play that game.
Keiki.
Who?
Kaiki, the new Brazilian guy.
Oh,
Striker.
I thought it was going to be some link to Yaya Toure then.
No.
I thought you got to give him a new nickname. I don't know what the score's going to be.
Possibly. I can see young Palmer starting as well. I think
5-0.
I'd love to see Delap.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see it, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it won't. I don't think it'd be a massively. I think that is an ideal game for De Bruyne to get his the cobwebs gone, and even Foden. To be fair,
I think you're right.
Although it's only Wycombe, I think they do need a bit of a even if it's half an hour or something like that. Just because of the matches what are coming up.
I think he'll play our usual defence, but I reckon we'll see a massive change in all the rest of the team.
That's what we want, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you think he'll play Edison?
No.
No.
I don't
In fact,
think
he might have to, unless no, I think he's back now, isn't he? The American one.
Yeah.
Is he? Because he wasn't on the bench
Rodrigo.
yesterday.
No, but he put a tweet out saying I'm back, and he was back in Manchester.
Are you on about Stefan?
Yeah, Stefan. Yeah.
He can use Scott Carson.
Yeah, so it'd be an interesting one. So I think I'd like to think we'd breeze past Wycombe with, some of the youngsters, getting some,
Andy, we have to beat them. We cannot go out to Wycombe.
No.
There's no replays.
No, we need to. I think what he'll do is he'll put a change side out with the big guns on the bench. And if it's looking a bit ropey, then
big guns.
Yeah, they'll bring the big guns out. John with his big guns.
Anything else, boys and girls, before it's a wrap?
I tell you what, I did see today. This is nothing to do with Man City, but it's one of my customers, Danny Young. She's called. She's the manager of Filed women's team, and I can't remember the opposition. They won 31-0 today in the cup. 31-0.
Was that rugby?
They were scoring. I was following it on Twitter, and every other tweet was goal by such a body, goal by. It was like 31-0. God, and that's in the women's football in the Yorkshire Lancashire League or something like that. It was in, but how mad's that? That's got to be a record, would you have thought?
I think so, wouldn't you? And the paper's not going to slate them though, for not going easy on them and things like that.
I think I tweeted something like that. You need to give up now. At 13-0, you need to give up now. It's 50 minutes gone and it was 13-0.
Did they have more fans than us?
Oh, obviously. No empty seats there, I'll tell you.
Right, boys and girls. That's all I've got today.
Nice, that.
We'll probably do another one after the Wycombe game on Tuesday.
That went really quick.
What did?
I've
The
seen
time.
that film.
The time.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
I'm not a big tea yet, and all the missus is out watching UB40, and I'll have to make.
I had a lovely roast beef Sunday lunch earlier in the wife cup.
I bet she's having a drink. I bet she's having a drink or two watching them as well, Riz. Eh?
I bet she's having
red wines.
Yeah, well, I need to get a shift on because I've got a rat in my kitchen and I don't know what to do.
And on that note, thank you very much for joining us again tonight, and especially you, Stan. It must be about 11 o'clock in Bulgaria.
Yes, I'm just watching the final of the Euros in volleyball. It's very interesting, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
No,
is it the women's volleyball you're watching, Stan?
I'm sorry?
Is it the women's beach volleyball you're watching, Stan?
No, the men's volleyball European Championship.
All right.
On that note, before Riz starts getting it carried away, and if anybody's after a few tickets, Stan can sort you out. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.